I said move her now. I don't care about your rules.
The woman's voice cracked through the emergency ward like glass snapping under pressure. Nia's hands froze around the chart she was holding. The fluorescent lights hummed above her, and the smell of antiseptic suddenly felt too sharp in her throat. The boy on the stretcher was bleeding internally. She knew it. She had seconds to make a decision, and this woman in diamonds was blocking the hallway like she owned the building. "Ma'am," Nia said, her voice steady even though her pulse wasn't. "If I pull that surgeon from this case, this child could die." "I don't give a damn about that child," the woman screamed. "My son is a donor. My son funds this hospital. You will prioritize him." The hallway went silent. Even the machines seemed to pause. Nia felt every eye on her. Doctors, nurses, families, witnesses. Her chest tightened. She thought of her own mother's voice years ago in Lagos. "You protect life, even if it costs you comfort." "I can't," she said quietly, "and I won't." The slap came fast, loud, humiliating. Her cheek burned. The chart slipped from her fingers and scattered across the tile like white surrender flags. Gasps rippled through the corridor. For a split second, Nia couldn't breathe. The woman stood there, chest heaving, eyes bright with the certainty of someone who had never been told no. Somewhere a phone camera lifted, somewhere security started running. But what froze Nia wasn't the pain. It was the voice behind her. Nia. Her blood turned cold. She knew that voice. She hadn't heard it in 8 years, but her body recognized it before her mind did. She turned slowly, and there he was standing at the end of the corridor, rain dripping from his coat, eyes wide with horror. Yunseo. The man she had buried in her memory, the man who had disappeared without a goodbye, the man whose child she never told him about. And he was staring at the woman who had just struck her. "Mother," he said softly. The air collapsed. The woman turned, confused. "Yunseo, thank God you're here. These people." He didn't look at her. His eyes stayed locked on Nia's burning cheek. His voice dropped to something deadly quiet. "You hit her?" Nia's heart slammed against her ribs. She wanted to run. She wanted to scream. Instead, she stood there in her scrubs, exposed, trembling, and trapped in the collision of a past she thought she'd escaped. If this is your first time stepping into a storm like this with us, welcome to Afro-Korean Stories TV, where love crosses borders and every heartbeat carries a history. If this moment is already twisting your chest, stay with us. Subscribe, like, and tell us what you feel in the comments. These stories live because you breathe with them, and Nia's story is only beginning. Yunseo crossed the hallway in 3 strides. Security skidded to a stop, unsure what to do. His presence bent the space around him. Nia remembered that gravity. Even back then, when he was just a scholarship student with empty pockets and impossible ambition, people orbited him. Now he wore power like a second skin. He reached for her face, stopped inches away, his hand shaking. "Did she hurt you?" Nia found her voice somewhere deep in the wreckage. "I'm fine." It was a lie. It tasted like metal. His mother laughed, sharp and brittle. "Yunseo, don't be dramatic. She's a nurse. She works for us." Nia felt the word crawl across her spine. Yunseo turned slowly. Nia saw it happen. The fracture between sun and air. His jaw tightened. "You don't own people." The woman scoffed. "I built half this city. Don't lecture me about ownership." Nia forced herself to kneel and gather the papers. Her hands shook. She hated that he was seeing her like this, hated that the woman who abandoned him in her memories was the same woman who now stood between them in reality. 8 years ago, he chose ambition over her, over the pregnancy test she never showed him, over the future she imagined. And yet when he spoke her name again, softly, broken, her chest answered, "Nia, where have you been?" Every unsent letter burned behind her ribs. She stood, met his eyes, working. Security finally stepped in, escorting the mother back. She protested, but the cameras were rolling now. Public image mattered. Nia felt Hunseo's gaze like heat against her skin. "You disappeared," he whispered. "So did you," she shot back. The boy on the stretcher groaned. Reality snapped back. Nia turned and pushed the gurney forward. "I have a patient." Hunseo followed. Of course he did. He always chased what mattered too late. Inside the operating prep room, the doors swung shut. The world narrowed to sterile light and pounding heartbeats. He stood there, dripping rainwater and unfinished sentences. "I searched for you," he said. "After I came back from Seoul, your apartment was empty." Nia strapped the oxygen mask onto the boy. "I moved." "Why?" She looked at him then. Really looked. The same eyes, the same scar above his brow from when they crashed a stolen bicycle into a fruit stand, the same man who promised her forever and boarded a plane instead. "Because I was pregnant," she said. Silence detonated. The monitor beeped steadily. The child breathed. Junseo didn't. His lips parted, but no sound came out. The weight of 8 years fell into the room like concrete. Naya felt a cruel flicker of satisfaction. Let him feel it. Let him drown in the life he never knew. "You," his voice cracked, "where is our child?" She swallowed. The answer lived in her bones, in the small apartment across town, in the little girl who had his eyes and her stubbornness. "She exists," Nia said, "and that's all you need to know right now." His knees almost buckled. He gripped the counter. "I need to see them." "You needed to stay," she replied. The surgeon burst in. The moment shattered. Naya stepped back as they rushed the boy into surgery. Junseo stared at her like she was both a miracle and an accusation. Outside, through the glass, his mother was already on the phone, damage controlling the scandal. Nia knew women like her. Reputation over remorse, power over people. Junseo followed Nia into the corridor again. "Please," he begged, "let me fix this." "You can't fix 8 years," she said. "But I can start now." Her heart betrayed her with a tremor of hope. She crushed it. Hope was a luxury single mothers couldn't afford. "You start," she whispered, "by staying out of my way." She walked. Each step felt like tearing skin from memory. Behind her, she heard him say her name one more time, softer than prayer. And somewhere deep inside, the part of her that never stopped loving him answered. He stood in that hallway long after she disappeared, and the sound of her footsteps didn't fade. It lodged inside his chest and kept echoing. Junseo felt like the floor had tilted. Pregnant, a child, 8 years of a life he didn't know existed, his daughter or son walking around the city breathing air he never protected. The realization was so violent it almost made him laugh. "I have a child," he whispered to himself, and the words felt stolen. His mother's heels struck the tile as she stormed back toward him. "What was that performance?" she snapped. "You humiliated me in front of the staff." Junseo turned slowly. He didn't recognize the man in his own body. The calm was too sharp, too controlled. "You hit her. She's an employee. She's a human being." His mother's lip curled. "Don't get sentimental. This is why I didn't want you involved in hospital investments. You always blur lines." He saw it then. The chasm between them. It had always been there, but Nia standing in that hallway illuminated it like lightning. His mother saw people as structures, useful or disposable. Nia saw them as lives. "She's the mother of my child," he said. The words dropped between them like a bomb. His mother blinked. Once, twice. For a second, the Empress cracked and a woman showed through. Then the armor sealed again. "Impossible." "It's not." She laughed. Brittle, disbelieving. "That girl is lying." Junseo stepped closer. "Don't call her that." "Think," she hissed. "You were nothing back then. Broke, invisible. She's using you now that you're powerful." He almost smiled. The irony tasted bitter. Naya, who raised a child alone rather than beg him for money. Naya, who didn't even want him near her. "You don't understand her," he said quietly. "I understand ambition," his mother replied, "and I understand traps." Junseo looked at the operating room doors. Behind them, Nia was fighting for someone else's life, while their conversation tried to erase hers. Shame burned through him. He had left her. Every justification he built over the years collapsed. "I'm going to find my child," he said. His mother grabbed his arm. "If you tie yourself to that woman, you tie this family to scandal." He pulled free. "Then let it be a scandal." He walked out into the rain. The city roared around him, neon reflected in puddles like fractured futures. He dialed the only person who could find Nia without hurting her. "Minho," he said when the line connected, "I need you to locate someone." A pause. "Danger, someone?" "The most important person in my life." He hung up before Minho could ask questions. Unseo leaned against the hospital wall and pressed his hands over his face. A child. His child. He tried to imagine their faces, and every version looked like a miracle he didn't deserve. Across the city, Nia scrubbed her hands raw at the sink. The water ran too hot, but she didn't pull away. She needed the sting, needed something to match the chaos in her chest. You told him. The thought echoed. She hadn't planned it. The truth had burst out like a wound reopening. She saw his expression again. Shock, grief, awe. It hurt because it was real. You're shaking, another nurse murmured. I'm fine, Nia said automatically. She wasn't. Her entire past had walked back into her shift and called her by name. When she clocked out hours later, the sky was bruised purple. She walked to the daycare 2 blocks away. The moment the door opened, a small body launched at her legs. Mommy! Nia knelt and caught her daughter, breathing in the scent of crayons and soap. Amara's hair was braided tight, beads clicking softly as she laughed. Unseo's eyes stared back at her from a tiny face. I missed you, Nia whispered. I drew you a picture, Amara announced. And me. And Daddy. The word sliced clean through her. Nia forced a smile. You remember what I told you about that word? Amara frowned. He's in the sky? Nia's throat closed. She had invented a myth to protect a child from abandonment. A father who traveled the stars. A hero who loved her but couldn't come home. Yes, she whispered. He's far away. Amara nodded solemnly, satisfied. Children accepted impossible things if you wrapped them in love. That night after Amara slept, Nia sat on the edge of the bed and stared at her phone. She knew Unseo would find her. Men like him always did. Power was a net. It dragged truth into daylight. Her phone vibrated. Unknown number. Her heart stumbled. She answered. I'm outside, Unseo said. Panic shot through her. She went to the window. A black car idled below. He stood beside it, hands in his pockets, looking up like a man waiting for judgment. You can't be here, she whispered. I already am. My daughter's sleeping. I know, he said softly. I won't come up, I needed to see the building, to know it's real. Tears blurred her vision. He sounded wrecked. Humans. The years fell away and she saw the boy who used to trace constellations on her palm. You should leave, she said. Let me ask one thing, he pleaded. Is our child safe? Nia closed her eyes. She's safe. She? His breath caught. I have a daughter. The word daughter came out reverent. Nia felt her defenses splinter. Yes, she whispered. A broken laugh escaped him. I have a daughter, he repeated like a prayer he never expected to be answered. They stood in silence, connected by a phone line, and a child sleeping between them like a bridge. I won't take her from you, he said suddenly. I won't disrupt her life. I want a chance to earn the right to know her. Earn, not demand. The humility shocked her. You don't get to walk in and play father, she said. I know, he replied. Tell me what I deserve. I'll accept it. Her chest ached. She hated that she still believed him capable of goodness. That hope was a dangerous drug. You deserve nothing, she whispered, but she deserves the truth. He inhaled sharply. Then let me become someone worthy of it. Nia looked at Amara sleeping, her small hand curled around a stuffed elephant. Every decision Nia made had been about protecting that fragile piece. Tomorrow, she said slowly. We will talk tomorrow. Not as lovers, not as enemies, as parents. Unseo pressed his forehead against the car window. Relief nearly buckled him. Thank you. She hung up before she could change her mind. If you're still holding your breath with them, stay here with us. Stories like this live in the spaces between heartbeats. Subscribe, like, share what you feel. Afro-Korean Stories TV is a home for every love that refuses to fit inside borders, and Nia and Unseo are only stepping deeper into the storm. Because across town, Unseo's mother was already making calls. And when she learned the child existed, she didn't see a granddaughter. She saw leverage. The next morning tasted like metal. Nia felt it before she opened her eyes. That tightness in her jaw, the sense that the world had shifted overnight and forgotten to ask her permission. Amara was already awake, humming to herself on the floor, lining up her toy animals with intense concentration. "Mommy," she said without looking up, "the lion is protecting the baby." Nia watched her daughter's small hands arrange the figures, a protector, a child. Her chest ached with irony. "You're very brave," Nia murmured. Amara looked up. "No, the lion is brave. I'm the baby." Nia smiled, but fear slid cold along her spine. Today, she was going to let the lion back into their lives, and lions didn't come without teeth. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A message. "I'll be at the cafe on Han River, noon. Only me, I promise. Jay." Her thumb hovered. She wanted to delete it, pretend the hospital was a hallucination. But Amara laughed, the sound bright and trusting, and Nia knew lies had an expiration date. Today was theirs. "I have to work for a few hours," Nia told her gently. "Mrs. Park will watch you." "Okay," Amara chirped. "Bring stars when you come back." Stars. Always stars. Nia kissed her forehead. "I'll try." The cafe overlooked gray water and winter trees stripped bare. Hunseo was already there. He stood when she walked in like a man facing a verdict. He looked like he hadn't slept. Good, a cruel part of her thought. Welcome to my world. They sat across from each other. The air between them pulsed with everything unsaid. "You look the same," he whispered. "You don't," she replied. "You look expensive." A ghost of a smile. "I feel poor." Silence. He folded his hands like he was afraid they'd betray him. "Tell me her name." Nia hesitated, saying it felt like opening a door she could never close again. "Amara," she said. He mouthed it slowly. "Amara." His eyes shone. "It's beautiful." "She is," Nia replied before she could stop herself. Hunseo laughed softly. "I don't doubt it." He reached into his coat and pulled out a small notebook. It was worn, the edges softened by time. He slid it across the table. Nia didn't touch it. "What is that?" "I wrote letters," he said. "To you. After you vanished. I never stopped. I just didn't know where to send them." Her breath caught. She stared at the notebook like it might explode. 8 years of words she never received. 8 years of him trying to talk to a ghost. "I don't want it," she whispered. "That's fair," he said quickly. "I just wanted you to know I didn't forget you." "You left me," she snapped. The cafe noise faded. "You chose soul. You chose your mother. You chose power." "I chose survival," he shot back, then flinched at his own honesty. "I thought if I came back strong enough, I could build something for us." "You didn't come back," she said. "I did," he insisted. "You were gone." "Because I was pregnant. Because I was terrified. Because I didn't believe you'd choose me." The words stayed locked inside her. He leaned forward. "I know I failed you. I'm not asking to erase that. I'm asking to meet my daughter." The plea in his voice carved straight into her defenses. "You meet her," Nia said slowly. "On my terms. No bodyguards, no gifts, no promises you can't keep." "I'll walk," he said immediately. "I'll crawl if I have to." She almost laughed. He always went to extremes. "Tomorrow," she said. "A park, neutral ground." His shoulders sagged with relief. "Thank you." Outside the cafe, a black sedan idled across the street. Nia didn't notice it. Hunseo did. His jaw tightened. His mother's shadow stretched long. "I need to warn you," he said quietly. "My family will try to control this." "I don't care about your family," Nia replied. "They'll care about you," he said. "And Amara." Fear flickered. "Are you threatening me?" "I'm protecting you," he said fiercely. "I swear to you, Nia, nothing touches her. Nothing touches you." "You don't control everything," she whispered. "I have enough control," he said. And for a moment she believed him. The park smelled like cold grass and distant smoke. Amara clutched Nia's hand, suspicious of the tall stranger waiting by the swings. "Who's that?" she asked. Nia knelt. Her voice trembled. "That's someone important." Hunseo approached slowly, like a man nearing sacred ground. When Amara looked up at him, the world stopped. Recognition flashed. Not memory, but instinct. Blood calling to blood. "Hi," he whispered. "I'm Hunseo." Amara hid behind Nia's leg. You're big. He laughed softly. I know, I'm sorry. Nia felt her heart crack open watching them. He crouched to Amara's level, eyes wet, smile trembling. Can I sit? He asked her. She considered it, then nodded. They sat in the grass. Amara studied him with solemn intensity. You look like me, she declared. Unseo's breath hitched. I do. Are you from the sky? She asked. The question sliced through Nia. Unseo looked at her, understanding dawn. I came from very far away, he said gently. But I'm here now. Amara reached out and touched his face. His eyes closed. A tear slipped free. Nia watched the moment bind them and felt both terror and awe. This is what I stole from him. This is what I protected. Both were true. Both hurt. Amara laughed suddenly and dragged him to the swings. Junseo followed, clumsy and reverent, like every second was a miracle. Nia stood there, hands shaking, watching the family she never allowed herself to imagine come alive in front of her. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered without thinking. A woman's voice purred, smooth as silk. Nia, we should talk. Her blood went cold. Who is this? You met me yesterday, the voice said. I'm Hunseo's mother, and you're raising my granddaughter. The world tilted. I don't know what you want, Nia whispered. I want, the woman said calmly, to discuss custody. The word detonated. You don't get to... You're a nurse, the woman continued. Long hours, modest salary, single. The courts prefer stability, influence, legacy. Nia couldn't breathe. Across the park, Hunseo pushed Amara on the swing, laughing. He looked free. He looked happy. He had no idea a war had just begun. If you love that child, the woman murmured, you'll meet me tonight. The line went dead. Nia stared at her daughter soaring into the air, her laughter ringing like fragile glass. Hunseo caught her at the bottom of the swing, both of them smiling. I will burn the world before I let you take her. The vow rose fierce and absolute, and somewhere deep inside, she realized loving Junseo again might cost her everything. Nia didn't remember walking home from the park. The city blurred into streaks of gray and neon, every sound muffled under the roar of one word looping in her skull. Custody. Her hand never left Amara's shoulder, even in the elevator, even unlocking the apartment door, even kneeling to pull off her daughter's shoes. She kept touching her like proof she was still there. Mommy, Amara giggled, squirming. I'm not disappearing. Nia forced a smile. I know. But fear had already built a nest under her ribs. Unseo had walked them home at a distance, honoring her silent request for space. Before leaving, he crouched in front of Amara again. Can I see you tomorrow? He asked her gently. Amara looked at Nia for permission. Nia nodded once. Yes, Amara declared. You pushed the swings well. Unseo laughed. His eyes lifted to Nia, gratitude, wonder, something dangerously close to love. I'll call you, he whispered. She watched him disappear down the stairs, and the hallway felt colder without him. The phone call sat in her pocket like a loaded weapon. She didn't tell him. She told herself it was a strategy. Don't escalate until you understand the battlefield. But the truth was uglier. She was afraid of what he'd choose. That night, after Amara slept, Nia sat at the kitchen table in the dark. The city glowed through the window. She dialed the number saved from the hospital incident report. The mother's contact. The woman answered on the first ring. I was wondering how long you'd take, she said smoothly. Say what you want, Nia replied. Her voice didn't shake. She was proud of that. I want my granddaughter protected, the woman said. You live in a cramped apartment. You work nights. You leave her with strangers. I leave her with licensed caregivers, Nia snapped. You leave her without legacy, the woman corrected. I can give her schools, security, a future that doesn't depend on your exhaustion. Rage burned hot and clean. She's not a project. She's blood, the woman said. My blood. You hit her mother, Nia whispered. Remember that when you talk about family. A pause. For a second, silence revealed something human on the other end. Then it vanished. I'll make this simple, the woman said. Marry my son. Nia froze. I'm sorry? Marry him, she repeated calmly. Become legitimate. The scandal disappears. The child remains within the family. Everyone wins. The proposal was surgical, efficient, cruel. You don't care about love, Nia said. Love is unstable, the woman replied. Marriage is infrastructure. Nia laughed, a broken sound. You think I'll trap him to protect myself? I think, the woman said softly, you already trapped him once. The line went dead. Nia sat there shaking. The accusation crawled under her skin. She hadn't trapped Junseo. She had run from him. She had built a life out of scraps and fear. But the doubt wormed in anyway. Am I protecting Amara or punishing him? Her phone lit up with a message. I can't sleep. Are you okay? J. Her chest tightened. She typed erased, typed again. We need to talk tomorrow. Seriously. N. I'll come now. J. No, tomorrow. N. A pause. Then. I trust you. J. The words hurt. Trust was a fragile animal, and she was already hiding the wolf in the room. The next day, Junseo arrived with no car, no entourage. He carried a paper bag of pastries like a peace offering. Amara ran to him without hesitation this time. You came back, she shouted. I said I would, he replied, lifting her. That's my new rule. I keep promises. Nia watched that line land. He said it to her. They sat on the floor while Amara colored. Junseo listened to every word she said like it was sacred text. Nia felt her defenses dissolving against her will. I love her, he whispered when Amara wandered to the bedroom. I know I just met her, but I love her. I know, Nia said. He looked at her. And I still love you. The room tilted. You don't get to say that, she whispered. I never stopped, he said. I just buried it under work and anger and shame. Her throat burned. Love doesn't erase damage. I'm not asking for it to, he said. I'm asking for a chance to build something honest. The phone call echoed in her head. Marry my son. The words tasted poisonous now. Your mother called me, Nia said. Junseo stiffened. What did she want? To take Amara, Nia said flatly. His face was drained of color. She can't. She thinks she can, Nia replied. And she has money, lawyers, influence. Junseo stood so fast he knocked over the pastries. I'll destroy her before I let that happen. Nia grabbed his wrist. She's still your mother. He met her eyes. His voice broke. You're my family. The simplicity of it cracked her open. If you're still here breathing with them, don't leave this moment alone. Subscribe, tell us what you choose. Blood or love? Afro-Korean Stories TV lives in these impossible questions, and the storm is only getting louder. Junseo knelt in front of her. Marry me, he said. The air vanished from her lungs. This isn't about image, he rushed on. This is about protection, about truth. I love you, I love our daughter, let me stand with you. She stared at him. The same man who once walked away was now begging to stay. And she believed him. That was the terrifying part. You don't propose because you're scared, she whispered. I propose because I'm done running, he said. Because I want to wake up next to you for the rest of my life and earn forgiveness every day. Her heart pounded so hard it hurt. Yes, she breathed. The word escaped before fear could stop it. Junseo exhaled a laugh that sounded like salvation. He pressed his forehead to hers. Thank you, he whispered. For one fragile moment, the world aligned. Then Nia's phone buzzed. A message from an unknown sender. A photo loaded. Junseo. In a dim room, a woman's arms around his neck, his mouth on hers. Timestamp. 3 months ago. The caption read, You should know what kind of man you're marrying. Nia's blood turned to ice. She looked up at him. The man kneeling, smiling, dreaming of a future. And the ground beneath her life cracked open. Her hand went numb around the phone. The room didn't explode. That would have been easier. Instead, everything stayed heartbreakingly normal. The hum of the refrigerator, the scratch of Amar's crayons in the bedroom, Junseo still kneeling in front of her with hope shining naked in his eyes. Nia felt the betrayal arrive slowly, like cold water rising around her lungs. Get up, she said quietly. Junseo blinked. What? Stand up, she repeated. Something in her tone made him obey. He rose, confused, searching her face. Nia, what's wrong? She turned the screen toward him. He looked, and the color drained from his body. The silence that followed was worse than screaming. He staggered back a step. Don't, she whispered. Don't lie first. Think about what you want your first word to be. He pressed a hand over his mouth. His eyes were wide with horror, not anger. Horror. It's not what it looks like, he said anyway. A broken laugh tore out of her. That sentence should be illegal. It was before I found you, he said desperately. Before I knew about Amara. Before. You're kissing another woman, she said. There's no philosophy that changes that. His voice cracked. It meant nothing. It means everything, she shot back, because you just asked me to trust you with my life. Amara's small footsteps padded closer. Nia wiped her face fast, turning away. Yunseo saw the child in the doorway and fell silent. Why are you sad? Amara asked. Nia knelt instantly, pulling her into a hug. I'm not sad. Mommy just needs air. Yunseo stood frozen, guilt radiating off him like heat. Amara looked between them, sensing the fracture. You made Mommy sad? She asked him. The question was pure, brutal. Yunseo dropped to his knees. I'm sorry, he whispered. And Nia didn't know if he was talking to her or the child. Amara frowned. You fix it. The simplicity of it crushed him. Naya carried Amara back to the bedroom, her hands shaking. When she returned, Yunseo was still on the floor. He looked smaller, stripped of power, just a man who had broken something fragile. Who is she? Nia asked. A mistake, he said. Her name. Hyejin. The name hit the air and stayed there. She's connected to my mother, he continued hoarsely. A business alliance. They kept pushing us together. I thought if I played along it would buy me time. So you slept with her to delay your mother? Nia's voice was ice. His eyes filled. I was drowning. I didn't know how to say no to that world yet. You knew how to say yes, she said. He flinched like she struck him. I hated myself, he whispered. Every time. She wasn't you. She wasn't even real to me. Don't you dare use me to clean your guilt, Nia snapped. You don't get to compare women like that. He covered his face. I'm trying to tell you the truth. The truth, she said slowly, is that when I disappeared, I survived. When you lost me, you filled the space with convenience. He looked up, broken. I was lonely. I was pregnant, she replied. The words detonated between them. He sucked in a sharp breath like he'd been punched. I know, and I'll regret that until I die. But Nia, please, I found you again. I'm here. I'm choosing you now. Now, she echoed, after sampling your options. He crawled closer, desperation naked. I'll cut her out. I'll burn every bridge, I swear. You already built the bridge, Nia whispered. I'm the one being asked to cross it. Her phone buzzed again. Another message. Video this time. She didn't want to open it. She knew it would hurt. She opened it anyway. Hyejin's voice filled the tiny screen. He says he loves me, the woman laughed softly. But he still dreams about the nurse. Isn't that pathetic? I'll marry him anyway. Power is power. Nia felt something inside her die quietly. She handed the phone to Yunseo. He watched. His face collapsed. That's not, he choked. I never said. You didn't deny her, Nia said. That's worse. He grabbed her hands. Look at me. Please. I love you. I love you. I love you. Each repetition sounded more like a plea to himself. I don't know who you are, Nia whispered. His grip loosened. Fear replaced desperation. Don't do this. You lied by omission, she said. You walked into my daughter's life carrying another woman on your skin. I ended it, he said. Months ago. You buried it, she corrected. That's not the same as ending. He shook his head violently. Tell me how to fix this. You can't, she said softly. The finality in her voice shattered him. He folded forward, forehead touching the floor. I'll wait, he whispered. I'll wait as long as it takes. Nia stared at him. She wanted to believe repentance could rewrite history. But love wasn't a blank page. It was layered with fingerprints, stains, and scars. You wait outside, she said. You don't come back until I call you. His head snapped up. Nia, You hurt me, she said simply, and I don't let hurt people live inside my house. He nodded slowly. Acceptance looked like a man aging in real time. He stood, swaying. I'm not giving up, he said. That's your choice, she replied. He walked to the door. His hand hovered on the knob. I never stopped loving you, he whispered one last time. The door closed behind him. Naya slid down the wall and pressed her fist to her mouth to keep from screaming. The apartment felt enormous and empty. In the bedroom, Amara sang to herself, unaware the ground had shifted. Nia's phone buzzed again. Hyejin. A call. Nia answered. You saw it, the woman purred. Why are you doing this? Nia asked. Because I'm supposed to marry him, Hyejin said calmly, and you're an inconvenience. He doesn't love you. Hyejin laughed. Love is irrelevant. I'm offering him an empire. You're offering him a struggle. I'm offering him the truth, Nia whispered. And he'll choose power, Hyejin replied. They always do. The line went dead. Naya sat there shaking. Doubt seeped in like poison. They always do. If you're still here with her in this silence, breathe with us. Subscribe, share what you feel. Afro-Korean Stories TV exists because love is messy and we refuse to look away. And Nia is about to discover how much truth costs. Because outside, in the rain, Junseo was already making a choice. And it was going to burn every bridge he had left. Rain swallowed the city, and Junseo stood in it like a man asking to be erased. The water ran down his face, mixed with tears he didn't bother hiding. He didn't move from the sidewalk outside Nia's building. He told himself it was penance. He told himself if he felt cold enough, the guilt would make sense. I brought poison into her house. The thought looped without mercy. His phone vibrated in his hand. He knew who it was before he looked. Mother. He answered. You're with her, she said immediately. Not a question. I was, he replied. A pause. And I'm choosing her, he said. Silence, then a soft exhale. You're emotional. You always were. I'm done being managed, he said quietly. I'm marrying Nia. The name landed like a slap on the other end. You will not, his mother said. I already decided. You're throwing away decades of work for a nurse. I'm building a family, he said, not a portfolio. Her voice sharpened. That woman is using the child to anchor you. He laughed hollow. You sent Hyejin to destroy her. Another pause. Longer this time. You were drifting, his mother said calmly. Hyejin stabilizes alliances. I'm not a merger, he snapped. You are an heir, she replied, and heirs do not marry for romance. Junseo closed his eyes. He saw Nia's face when she showed him the video. The hurt, the disbelief, the quiet death of trust. I already betrayed her once, he whispered. I won't do it again. You already did, his mother said softly, and she'll never forget it. The truth of that cut deeper than any threat. You can still recover, she continued. Come home, end this foolishness. We'll handle the child discreetly. Rage exploded through him. She's not a problem to handle, he said. She's my daughter. You don't even know her, his mother replied coolly. I will, he said, even if it costs me everything. Everything, she repeated. Be careful what you offer. The line went dead. Junseo stared at his reflection in a puddle. He barely recognized the man looking back. For the first time in his life, he felt clean. Terrified, but clean. Inside the apartment, Nia sat on the kitchen floor with her back against the cabinets. The darkness pressed close. Her phone lay face down on the tile like a wounded animal. You're an inconvenience. The words were replayed in Hyejin's voice, smooth, certain, weaponized. Naya pressed her palms to her eyes. She had fought so hard to build a life where no one owned her, no one dictated her worth, and now power had found her anyway, wrapped in the face of the man she loved. Love. The word felt dangerous. She didn't want to say it, didn't want to admit it still lived in her bones. Amara padded out of the bedroom, sleepy and confused. Mommy? Nia scooped her up instantly. I'm here. Where's Swingman? Amara asked. Nia's chest cracked. He had to go home. Did I do bad? No, Naya whispered fiercely. You did nothing bad. None of this is because of you. Amara nodded, satisfied, and curled into her shoulder. trusting, absolute. The weight of that trust anchored Nia to the floor. I will not let power rewrite her childhood. The vow settled into her like steel. The next morning, Hunseo did knock. He sat across the street in his car, watching the building. He didn't trust himself to leave. He needed to be close in case the world tried to touch them. His phone buzzed again. Hyejin, he answered with a dead voice. It's over. She laughed softly. It was never over. You just stepped out of frame. You sent that video, he said. Of course, she replied. I protect my interests. I'm not interested in you, he said. You're my future husband, she corrected. Signed papers exist, announcements scheduled, families aligned. Hunseo's stomach dropped. You forged that. I accelerated it, she said calmly. Your mother approved. The betrayal twisted deeper. I'm canceling everything. You can't, Hyejin said gently. If you do, your mother's companies will collapse. The investigation files open, the debts surface. Hunseo went cold. What investigation? A smile in her voice. Ask her. The line clicked off. For the first time, fear wasn't about love. It was about the ground under his family being built on rot. Across town, Nia walked into the hospital and felt eyes on her. Whispers followed her like shadows. The slap video had gone viral overnight. Comment sections split her into hero and opportunist. She kept her head down. She had patience. Lives didn't pause for scandal. In the break room, a colleague grabbed her arm. Are you okay? I'm working, Nia replied. That man is outside, the woman whispered. Nia's heart stumbled. She stepped to the window. Hunseo stood across the street, not approaching, just watching. He looked like a guard dog chained by guilt. Her anger softened against her will. He stayed. He didn't hide. He didn't run back to power. He stood in public, absorbing every stare. You're fighting for us. The thought hurt. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered cautiously. A male voice, low and urgent. If you care about Hunseo, you need to leave him. Nia's blood iced. Who is this? A friend, the man said. His family is about to burn, and they'll take you and the child with them. What are you talking about? There are investigations, he said. Money, violence, old enemies. You are leveraged now. The line died. Nia stared at the wall. The world tilted again. Loving Hunseo wasn't just an emotional risk. It was a structural collapse. If you're still here, feeling the ground shaking with her, stay with us. Subscribe. Tell us what you do when love becomes danger. Afro-Korean Stories TV lives in the space where hearts gamble everything. Nia walked outside. Hunseo straightened instantly. Hope flickered in his eyes. Nia. Are we in danger? She asked. The question hit him like a bullet. He didn't lie. Yes, he whispered. The honesty stole her breath. I just learned, he rushed. I'm fixing it. You don't fix danger, she said. You survive it. I'll protect you, he said fiercely. You couldn't protect me from a video, she replied. The words sliced. He flinched. Let me try, he pleaded. Nia looked at him. Really looked. This man was choosing her in the middle of collapse. He was terrified and still standing. Love wasn't safe, but it was real. She stepped closer. Their foreheads touched. Rain began again, soft and relentless. If you lie to me again, she whispered, I will disappear. I won't lie, he breathed. Then tell me everything, she said. And for the first time, Hunseo began to confess the empire he was born into, and how it was already crumbling. I was born into debt, Hunseo said, and the rain swallowed the city while he spoke like a man peeling his own skin back. Not money debt, blood debt. My grandfather built the company through partnerships, some legal, some not. My mother inherited the clean version, the polished version, but the foundation never changed. Nia stood inches from him, water soaking her scrubs, Amara's face burning in her memory like a lighthouse. You're telling me your family is criminal? I'm telling you, he whispered. We're built on people who don't forgive betrayal. And you just betrayed them, she said. Yes. The word was small, absolute. A car sped past, spraying water. Neither of them moved. They're being investigated, Hunseo continued. Financial crimes, Old violence? Hyejin's family is tied to the prosecutors. The engagement was supposed to seal silence. And you broke the deal, Nia said. I chose you. The simplicity hurt more than if he'd shouted. You chose me after sleeping with her, Nia replied quietly. He closed his eyes. I deserve that. You deserve worse, she said. But I don't have time to punish you. I have a child to protect. He nodded. Tell me what to do. First, she said, voice steady, despite the earthquake inside her. You don't come near my apartment again. If someone is watching you, they're watching me. Pain flashed across his face. You want distance. I want to survive, she said. He swallowed. Okay. Second, she continued, you tell me if we're targets, not comfort, truth. You're targets, he said immediately, because you matter to me. The honesty was a blade. She respected him for it. She hated him for needing it. Then we plan, she said. The words we landed between them were like fragile hope. When Seo almost reached for her, stopped himself. I'll pull every resource I have. No bodyguards, she said sharply. They escalate. Without protection, we disappear, she cut in. Quiet is safer than strong. He stared at her. You've thought about this before. I raised a child alone, she replied. Every mother thinks about escape routes. His chest tightened. I wasn't there. No, she said. You weren't. The wound stayed open between them. Neither pretended it closed. Across the street, a black sedan idled again. Hunseo saw it. His jaw tightened. They're already watching, he murmured. Nia didn't turn. Then we don't give them a show. She stepped back. The space between them felt like a cliff. If we survive this, she whispered, we will talk about ourselves. He nodded. If we survive this, I will marry you. She almost smiled. Almost. Survive first, she said. She walked away without looking Wessel. It took everything in him not to follow. That night, Nia packed a bag while Amara slept. Clothes, documents, cash hidden in a book. Her hands moved on instinct. Her mind screamed. I'm running again. But this time she wasn't running from love. She was running to protect it. Her phone vibrated. Hunseo, I moved assets. I can get you new IDs if needed. Nia, no paper trail. Hunseo, you're better at this than me. Nia, I had practice. A pause. Hunseo, I'm sorry for every year I wasn't there. Her throat closed. Nia, stay alive. That's your apology. She turned the phone off. The knock came at 2:17 a.m. Soft, polite. Her blood froze. She grabbed the knife from the kitchen and moved to the door silently. Amara stirred in the bedroom. Nia's heart pounded so loud she thought it would wake the building. Another knock. A man's voice, low. We're not here to hurt you. That was never reassuring. Who are you? She whispered. Friends of Hunseo, he said. We need to talk. Nia didn't open the door. Talk through wood. A pause, then. His mother has issued custody petition. Emergency hearing, tomorrow morning. The knife slipped in her grip. She's claiming you're unstable, the man continued, that you're tied to criminal influence. The irony burned. You're lying, Nia whispered. We're trying to protect you, he said. Hunseo doesn't know yet. His communications are being monitored. Nia's stomach dropped. If she wins, the man said gently, you lose your daughter before this investigation even begins. Silence roared in her ears. What do you want? She asked. Come with us, he said. We can hide you until the hearing passes. Trap, it screamed a trap. I don't trust you, she said. You don't have to, he replied. You just have to decide if you trust her. Her mind flashed to Hunseo's mother. The slap, the cold eyes, the certainty of ownership. Nia looked at Amara sleeping. Decisions arrived like lightning. I'm not going anywhere with strangers, she said. Tell Hunseo. He can't protect you in court, the man replied. He's compromised. The word hollowed her chest. Then I protect myself, she whispered. Footsteps retreated. The hallway went quiet. Nia locked every bolt and slid to the floor, shaking. Dawn felt impossibly far away. If you're still holding your breath with her, stay here. Subscribe. Tell us what you'd fight for. Afro-Korean Stories TV is built on these moments where love meets fear and refuses to disappear. Morning came too fast. The courthouse smelled like old paper and judgment. Nia stood alone at the defendant's table. No lawyer, no Hunseo, just her and the weight of a system designed to flatten women like her. Hunseo's mother entered in white, controlled, regal. She didn't look at Nia. She didn't need to. The judge called the case. Custody petition, minor child Amara Okoye. Nia's hands shook. She felt the room tilt. Then the doors burst open. Hunseo. Breathless, furious, alive. "I object," he said. The courtroom froze. His mother's face cracked for the first time. Hunseo walked to Nia's side and took her hand. His grip was iron. "She's not alone," he said quietly. Nia looked at him. Tears burned. He chose the battlefield. And the war had just begun. The courtroom air tasted like dust and old decisions. Nia felt Hunseo's hand wrapped around hers, warm and shaking, and the contact anchored her just enough to stand upright. The judge peered over his glasses, irritation flashing at the interruption. "State your name," the judge said sharply. "Junseo Han," he replied. His voice didn't waver. "Father of the minor child." The word father rippled through the room. Nia felt it land inside her chest like a second heartbeat. His mother stood slowly. Every movement was controlled, elegant, lethal. "Your Honor," she said smoothly, "my son is emotionally compromised and—" "I'm perfectly clear," Hunseo cut in. "This petition is harassment." Gasps. The judge slammed the gavel. "Order." Nia could feel Junseo trembling, not with fear. With restraint, he was holding back a lifetime of obedience. The mother's eyes slid to Nia, cold as glass. "You did this," the look said. "You broke him." Nia lifted her chin. For the first time, she didn't feel small. The judge scanned the file. "Mrs. Han alleges the child is in an unstable environment." "I live in a clean apartment," Nia said. Her voice sounded distant to her own ears. "I work at a hospital. My daughter is fed, loved, and safe." The mother smiled faintly. "Safety is relative." Hunseo stepped forward. "If there is danger around my daughter, it comes from my family, not her mother." Silence detonated. Nia stared at him. He had just said it publicly. He had drawn a blade across his own legacy. The judge's eyes sharpened. "Explain." Hunseo inhaled. Nia felt the moment stretch. A rope over a cliff. He could still retreat, still protect the empire. He didn't. "My family is under investigation," he said, "and my mother is weaponizing the court to control my child." The room exploded into whispers. His mother's face went white. "You ungrateful," she hissed. The gavel cracked again. "Enough!" Nia's heart pounded so hard she thought she'd faint. Hunseo wasn't just choosing her now. He was burning the bridge behind him. The judge leaned back slowly. "This court does not remove a child from a mother without proof of harm. Petition denied pending investigation." The gavel fell. Nia's knees almost buckled. Denied. The word rang like a bell. Hunseo exhaled a broken laugh. His grip tightened. He looked at her like a man who had just crawled out of a grave. His mother stared at him with naked betrayal. "You chose her," she whispered. "I chose my daughter," he replied. She laughed softly. It sounded like glass breaking. "Then you are no longer my son." The sentence hung in the air, irreversible. Hunseo didn't chase her as she walked out. He didn't look back. He stood there beside Nia and let the old world close its doors. Outside the courthouse, sunlight felt unreal. Nia stepped onto the stairs and finally let herself cry. The sound tore out of her chest, raw and animal. Hunseo pulled her into his arms. She resisted for half a second, then she collapsed against him. "I almost lost her," she sobbed. "You didn't," he whispered into her hair. "You never will." "You can't promise that," she said. "I promise to fight," he replied. That she believed. He pulled back, searching her face. "I told the truth. There's no going back." "I know," she said. "I lost everything," he whispered. Nia touched his cheek. "You kept us." The simplicity of it broke him. He laughed and cried at the same time, forehead resting against hers. "I don't deserve this," he said. "No," she agreed softly. "You don't." He flinched. Then she kissed him. The kiss wasn't forgiveness, it was recognition, two broken people choosing the same direction. When they pulled apart, the world felt quieter. Amara ran down the courthouse steps toward them, Mrs. Park chasing behind. "Mommy!" Nia scooped her up. Amara clung to Yunseo next, wrapping tiny arms around his neck like it was the most natural thing in the world. "You're crying," Amara observed. "I'm happy," Yunseo said hoarsely. "Good," she declared. "We're a team." The word team settled into Nia's bones. A phone buzzed in Junseo's pocket. He looked at the screen. His face hardened. "What?" Nia asked. "The investigation," he said quietly. "They're raiding my mother's offices. Today." The consequence twist landed heavy. Everything he'd exposed was collapsing in real time. "She'll blame you," Nia whispered. "She already does," he replied. Fear crept back in. "She won't stop." "I know," he said. They stood there holding their daughter while the empire burned in the background. Victory tasted like ash and relief. "This is the cost," Nia murmured. Yunseo nodded. "I'd pay it again." She believed him. Weeks passed like walking through smoke. News vans camped outside corporate towers. Old crimes surfaced. Allies vanished. Yunseo's name was dragged through every channel. He didn't run. He rented a small apartment near Nia's. No guards, no marble floors, just thin walls and honest air. He learned Amara's bedtime routine, burned dinner twice, laughed more than he had in years. One night, sitting on the floor surrounded by toys, he looked at Nia and said, "I'm free." She studied him. The dark circles. The peace. "You're poor," she teased gently. "I'm rich," he replied, nodding at Amara asleep on the couch. "I finally know what matters." Her chest tightened. This was the man she fell in love with, not the heir, the boy who dreamed out loud. "I'm still angry," she admitted. "I know," he said. "I still don't trust you completely." "I know," he repeated. "I'm trying," she whispered. "That's all I want," he said. He didn't ask for absolution, he asked to stay. And she let him. The final knock came months later. A letter slid under the door. Yunseo opened it with steady hands. His mother's handwriting. He read silently. His jaw trembled. "She's leaving the country," he said. Nia waited. "She says, I chose my family, and she hopes one day I understand why she chose hers." Pain flickered. Love twisted into something unrecognizable. "Do you hate her?" Nia asked softly. Yunseo looked at Amara coloring at the table. At Nia, standing in the doorway. At the life he built from ruins. "No," he said. "I just won't follow her." That was his transformation. Not revenge, not victory. Choice. If this story stayed with you, if you felt every risk, every heartbeat, stay with Afro-Korean Stories TV. Subscribe, like, and walk with us through more love that refuses borders. Because stories like this remind us what we're willing to lose to keep what matters. That night, Yunseo lay beside Nia in the dark. No empire, no armor, just breath and fragile peace. "I'm scared," he admitted. "Me too," she whispered. He laced his fingers with hers. "But I'm home." And for the first time, the word meant something neither of them had to run from.